Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Salami squad around the world. What is up? It's the Meat Pack, and we are back again.
Woo!
Today, we're going to break down the QB matchup of this Super Bowl 55. So here we go.
55.
All right, dude. So let's just go ahead and do it. And I mean, just at a surface level, holy fuck. This is about to be a juicy ass game, QBs alone here. So, breaking it down here, let's go ahead and start with the boy, Texas's finest, Patrick Mahomes, coming out of Tyler, Texas, played at Texas Tech, believe it or not. And there he threw for 11,000 yards with 93 touchdowns in 3 years, dude, while at the same time was the relief pitcher for their baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? I mean, he set NCAA record for most yards in a single game. He had 734 passing with 85 rushing, combining for 819 yards in a football game, which is the most we have ever seen in a college football game from one human.
Him and Baker, bro, one of the best games ever.
It's just like 800, like college football, take it how you will, but 800, it's crazy, dude.
Not easy.
So, moving on into his NFL career here, drafted in 2017, first round, 10th overall pick, obviously to the Kansas City Chiefs. At the combine, quick little fun fact here, he threw a pass that went 60 miles per hour, tying for the fastest ever recorded football thrown. Like, what?
Eat on that bitch.
Like, that's just crazy. That's that baseball for sure. I mean, that's just crazy. And then obviously he won the MVP in 2018, broke the Madden curse, and then won a Super Bowl. I mean, just incredible quarterback. Still very early on in his career here. So looking at his 2020, these are regular season numbers, so keep that in mind. He had a 66.2 pass completion rate, 4,740 yards with 38 tutties, 6 interceptions. That is a 108.2 QBR. Just absolutely insane year again, dude. Just leading the Chiefs to the Super Bowl, doing it again.
Doing it again, man. Like you said, for this kid to be only 3, 4, 5 years in the league is absolutely incredible. He's only 26 right now. So, he gets drafted in 2017. Obviously, Alex Smith was still the quarterback, but Andy Reid does let him play those last couple of games. So it really only had a couple of games under his belt. And then that next year, that 2018 season just obviously ran up an MVP, just absolutely phenomenal. And last year was also just great. And to think, man, he's in his second Super Bowl. He's already won one. You know what I'm saying? Just a dude that I can look at right now, and as a football fan, he's going to be around for a minute. We're going to be watching this dude, unless injury, we're going to be watching this kid play football till he's 40. You know what I mean? And obviously signed that mega contract, over the offseason, nice 10-year deal, put his name on that piece of paper. So he's going to be around there for a minute. They're obviously – I think after the next year or two, and some of that money starts hitting in hard, they're going to have a lot of decisions to make as far as contracts. It's just hard to build a team around a guy who's making $40, $50 million a year. They're going to figure it out, man. I think more or less, obviously Tyreek Hill is great. Obviously Travis Kelce and a bunch of those pieces are nice. But I think it'll get to a point, man, where Patrick Mahomes is so good that you can bring in fucking anybody, dude. He's going to get the best out of him. You know what I mean? And just an overall great athlete, like I said, has that
He's a great leader too, bro. Yeah.
Leader, you know what I'm saying? You catch him on a couple of mics up. Obviously, he is the head man of that team. And I Patrick Mahomes, at this point, he's one of those guys where you just don't need to explain much. You just say it's Patrick Mahomes, and I think everybody falls in line, understands who the fuck this man is.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with you. Talk about not having to explain yourself. We're going to switch over to this other quarterback here, Mr. Tom Brady himself. I mean, and part of this, we're not going to hit every point here because it's just too much to go over. So keep that in mind as we go through
tomorrow, dude. It's like
I got things to do tonight. Like I don't got time, dog.
Wow.
But looking at his college football career, he played college ball at Michigan. Michigan boy, dude. Finished his 2 starting years there because there's only 2 years where he started, played the full season, etc. Finished with a 20-5 record at Michigan. I mean, just W's, and that's where he was labeled the comeback kid. So that he, even in his early college career, just had something about him where in the fourth quarter, it's just he's going to get the job done. He's going to get you a W, even in college. So moving forward here to year 2000, kind of forget how old this man is. Drafted in the 6th round, 199th overall, arguably the best draft pick to ever happen. That late to get what you got on,
incredible, insane.
That's wow. So, I mean, we don't really got to break that down. And obviously, he had his 20-year career in New England. Again, we're not going to be able to hit every point here, but we're talking about a 14-time Pro Bowler, 3-time league MVP, 4-time Super Bowl MVP, and obviously 6 Super Bowl rings, the most ever by a player. Just absolutely incredible. And then we touched on this a little bit ago in a separate video, but what we are seeing from Tom Brady this year is literally unthinkable. So to have the career he had in the AFC in New England, that alone, probably the greatest quarterback of all time. This year, 2020 season, decides to just pick it up, hike it over to the NFC, signs with the Bucs. He finished this regular season with a 65.7 pass completion rate, 4,600 yards, 40 tutties. I mean, he did have 12 picks, but that's Bruce Arians. That's not Tom Brady's fault. And, let's just really think about this season. Let's break it down a little bit. Their regular season record, finished well above 500, obviously made it into the playoffs. Yeah. And then for him to switch AFC sides, as a kid, you talk about, well, what if Tom Brady played against Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers? He fucking did that in the playoffs at both of their home stadiums.
On the road,
and beat them both. Out-competed, played better than both of the opposing quarterbacks in their home stadiums. I mean, we're just talking about cementing yourself. For
a long time in the AFC, I mean, you got to think all those years he prevented Peyton. I mean, Peyton's probably the 2nd or 3rd greatest quarterback of all time, and you got to think of all those years that the Colts couldn't get past the Patriots. And like you said, there's so many questions. It's like LeBron in the NBA about how weak one conference is, and if he went over to the other conference, he wouldn't be able to pull it off. Tom Brady literally marched into Lambeau and marched into the Superdome and beat Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees on their own turf, you know what I'm saying? And those two guys are phenomenal. Those two guys are
they're great.
But Tom Brady, there's just levels to this shit, man. And you comparing Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes, I mean, Tom Brady from a talent standpoint, even a guy like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, I don't think is as talented as that from an arm, from an athletic standpoint. But that quarterback position, bro, comes right here, dog. So I get the arguments, man. You just can't deny 6 championships. I know maybe they fucked around get a couple of those. There's some allegations getting tossed towards the Patriots organization.
End of the day.
I think they won, 2000, 2001, and then 2003. They got 3, and then there was about a 10-year gap, before they started running up the other 3. Obviously lost a couple to the Giants, and then 1 to the Eagles. So the thing that this man's in his 10th Super Bowl, has locked down 6 of them. He's got the regular season MVPs. What the fuck are we talking about here, dude? The fuck are we talking about? The fact that he pulled off what he did this year with, obviously that roster of guys who were pretty solid, but came in and it just took a guy like Tom Brady to just say, hey, I got this shit figured out, man. Like I said, as a Jets fan and from being up north in Pennsylvania around that area, grew up watching Patriots games and Bills games and obviously Jets games, just that zone area. So, I mean, I fucking hated Tom Brady for the longest time, just being a Jets fan. And but this guy fucking keeps figuring out how to get the Super Bowls, man. So just got to respect it. We're watching a movie. This dude is the main character in a fucking cinematic universe, man. It'll be a tale that we tell to the end of time. Tom
No,
versus
seriously.
Tom.
Or it'll be a tale we tell until Patrick Mahomes comes around and fucks up all these records he's setting.
Very
So,
possible.
I mean, looking at these two quarterbacks, I mean, in 20 years from now, the conversation we're going to have about these two men is going to be a completely different one. And I'm super excited to see, what Patrick Mahomes is going to do in the rest of his career. But for me, man, this is all about Tom Brady. For his career accomplishments to do this, and then he's gonna fuck around, probably play 3-4 more years. I mean, just like, what is going on?
Really looks like he can. You know what I'm saying? I know he said he wants to play till 45, and I 100% believe him. Just crazy.
I don't know. It's like, you kind of lose words to say. Just, you got to sit down. We've been saying it in a couple of videos, but you really got to sit down and appreciate what's going on in NFL history this year. It's just, it's wild, dude.
It's wild.
Respect. So, with that being said, go on Wikipedia, check out Tom Brady's shit, do some reading. You'll probably be there for a couple of days, but hook yourself up, get that knowledge up. With that being said, though, that's the meat pack, and we out of here.
Got it.